30 days. Day 27, this is when I'll start mastering. If you're sending it out to be mastered, you don't have to worry about this, but I usually like to do a mix and master just to get an idea of how I want the sound to be. So I'm using Ozone's mastering plugin to do this. And I'll also be adding a stereo separation to the track before I add that. And the last link into my plugin chain is going to be adding dither. All right, so for mastering on the sub master, where all the tracks are routed through, first thing I add is stereo separation using the S1 imager. And then this is my Ozone plugin, the mastering plugin. I have a preset for it that I usually start with, and I adjust the settings from there. This tells you the input and output. You can choose which settings you want. If you want to add reverb, harmonic exciter, post equalizer, stereo imaging, dynamics. So you don't have to use the stereo imaging outside of the app, outside of the plugin, but I do. The maximizer, I turn that all the way up to get the highest sound. Dynamics and equalizer. Usually do a little boost around 100 hertz and a little boost up at the top. It's kind of the smiley face EQ, which kind of, that's what they call it, because on a graphic equalizer it'd make a smiley face. Dynamics, these are the settings I'm using. You notice how much louder it is when I turn the plugin off and on. When it's on, it's so much louder. Add the dither, which you won't even hear when I actually play that. But then I use plugins like Manipulator, which shows you how it sounds when you sum it to mono. Usually set that around -6 decibel, because when you sum it to mono it gets a lot louder and there'll be a lot of distortion. But there's no frequency issues with the sound, as you can hear when I sum it to mono. You can actually check the polarity, left polarity, right polarity, or flip it. So this is a great tool to use, especially when you get to the mastering stage. Then use this frequency spectrum analyzer just to make sure everything's all right with the sound. And then I have a VU meter plugin, and I use this when I'm mastering to make sure I'm getting it to where I want the sound to be. So then I have a VU meter plugin that I use. This helps me keep track of the sound and make sure that I'm getting it to the right volume. Let's take a chance. Touch me, love me, need me, so it's hitting around 0. You want it to stay pretty close to 0, especially if you're mastering pop music, which I am. This is a pop EDM song, so you definitely want it to be hitting as close to 0, as most consistently as you can. If it falls down here a little bit, that's okay. That's just dynamic range, but you don't want too much dynamic range usually for these highly compressed songs. At this point, the song really is done. The next day, you'll just have friends or family listen to it and see what they think, maybe make adjustments as it is then, and then go from there. Heart thumping, blood pumping, swear running, I'm a victim of your love now.